The TCM Group are the UK's leading provider of mediation and dispute resolution services. We're based in central London and have a team of some of the best mediators and trainers anywhere in the UK, providing services to companies up and down the country and increasingly overseas. Mediation is a process whereby an independent third party works with two or more disputing parties and helps those disputing parties come together in a constructive environment and have a dialogue and a discussion with one another. The mediator, who's non-judgmental and objective, will meet each of the parties separately in the first instance to try and understand some of the background to the conflict, some of the reactions to the conflict, how people feel, their perceptions, their analysis of the conflict. And then with the help of the mediator, they will start to identify what we call a win-win outcome. We start to identify points of agreement, points of compromise, points of consensus, and the mediator will help the parties record those, and they will then build an agreement between those two parties.
Mediation is excellent at protecting business relationships because it actually gets down to the real reason for conflict and actually give people skills to help them to deal with the conflict themselves. The cost of going to tribunal is astronomical, not just in terms of legal fees and not just in terms of any award that the court may give, but also in terms of time and energy and loss of business focus. It can take days and days of managers' time to prepare when really they would be much better focusing on where their business is going.
In the mediation work that we do through the TCM Group, we achieve a successful outcome in 93% of all cases that are resolved. And one of the things that HR directors often say to me is, what did you put in their coffee? What did you put in their coffee, and how can we use the skills of mediation in our organisation to transform the way that we handle disputes and conflicts?
Well, Topshop first started talking to TCM when we were thinking about introducing an in-house mediation scheme. We then worked with them to run a 2-day programme for 12 of our team, which we adapted to the needs of our business, but also that captured mediation. A call will come in from our HR managers that are out in the field, and they will basically highlight if there's a case that is right for mediation. And then we work really closely with the individuals involved so that they understand the process, they feel very comfortable into the situation that they're entering. And then what we will do is we'll actually set up an opportunity for them to meet together. And then we'll actually come out with some level of solution, sometimes in the form of a written agreement, sometimes it could just be that the two parties have agreed a way of working together. The in-house mediation scheme has been the right thing for us to do. It balances with our wellbeing initiatives and our employee engagement initiatives, and I think it's a much fairer way of resolving conflict for employees, and the responses that we've had from our employees that have been through the mediation scheme has been very, very positive, far more positive than a formal grievance could ever be.
In terms of the collaboration with TCM, we first joined and started to begin working with TCM about 2 years ago, and during that 2 years they've been a great support to us in terms of advice, any additional training, and that's continued throughout. Really professional organisation who've been a great help to us as a company. Originally, the reason that we decided to undertake mediation within our company was the Gibbons report. Michael Gibbons had put a really strong case to offer people alternatives to employment tribunals and also to try and address conflict so that we had a win-win situation. I think resolving conflict through mediation is incredibly successful, because what I would say to you is everybody wins and nobody loses. And the job satisfaction that I personally receive through doing mediation is that people come in perhaps under conflict and leave restoring a good, effective working relationship. Therefore, not only do the individuals benefit, but the company benefits as well.
So as we approach this difficult period of economic uncertainty for organisations and also nationally, I would be urging any organisation to be thinking now about how they handle conflicts and disputes. If we leave it until a conflict or dispute occurs, it becomes much more difficult to resolve. And of course, we provide independent mediation services for just that, for that occurrence. But if organisations are thinking now about how they handle change, how they can handle conflicts or disputes that will happen within their organisation, it's not if, it's when those disputes happen. If they can start to embed the principles of mediation and put mediation into their policies and procedures, training managers and leaders to handle conflicts effectively. It doesn't take weeks or months to train a manager on how to handle a conflict. It can happen in a day. And training managers over the course of a day to be effective dispute resolvers can make a significant change to the way that the organisation is equipped and handles the forthcoming challenges ahead.